What's going on, Bills Mafia? Buffalo has made their first external free agent signing of NFL free agency in 2025, agreeing to a 3-year, $36 million contract with wide receiver Josh Palmer, formerly of the Los Angeles Chargers. And we know with Buffalo needing a wide receiver to add more weapons around Josh Allen on this Buffalo offense, Josh Palmer isn't the sexiest name to come out of the crop, but the wide receiver free agent market is not super deep. Josh Palmer did have a lot of suitors among NFL teams out there looking to add receiving talent, and he lands in Buffalo on a 3-year deal. Only 25 years old for Josh Palmer, so a lot of room to grow, and has kind of been limited in his time in Los Angeles due to there being other receiving talent in the building. Talk about Ladd McConkey, talk about Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, who have been over there in Los Angeles. Now he gets the chance to potentially be the number 2 receiver in Buffalo, playing on the boundary and starting and having a lot of reps to be passing with Josh Allen. We're going to talk about this move in just a second, but this is why you subscribe to the channel. When the Bills make a move, we come at you guys as quickly as possible, as there's a lot going on here at Chat Sports with a video. So lock us in as your number 1 spot for Buffalo Bills news and rumors and free agent signings just like this when they happen all offseason long. YouTube.com/Bills News. Lock us in and subscribe today. Josh Palmer comes to Buffalo after a pretty mediocre to underwhelming season, right? 39 catches of less than 600 yards and just a touchdown. But he is a deep ball threat. He is a separator and a really good route runner, and comes into Buffalo as probably the best overall separator on the Bills depth chart at that spot right now. 15 yards a catch. So every time this guy's got the ball in his hands, he's moving the sticks. 4 drops, and did have 6 drops a couple of years ago, so a little bit of an issue there. But I think Palmer is a really under-the-radar signing for Buffalo. The Giants wanted him. I know the Patriots wanted him. Like, a lot of these wide receiver needy teams were looking to add Josh Palmer here for depth. And I know the $12 million a year deal isn't necessarily something that, everybody's gushing over, right? Like that we paid Josh Palmer over $10 million a season. But at the end of the day, he's really underrated and has a lot of room to grow. Like I said, only 25 years old right now, and you're paying a guy who's going to slot in to your wide receiver 2 spot at this point. And, Buffalo's front office made this deal for Palmer. They didn't make this deal for Amari Cooper. They are assuming, and they are coming out here with the take that Amari Cooper is essentially kind of done. Not the same receiver that he was or is ever going to be again in the NFL. So Palmer lines up on the boundary now. I still do think Buffalo needs to add another receiver to this room, but maybe Keon Coleman takes the big leap in year number 2, like the front office and the coaching staff are hoping for. Right now, Josh Palmer enters this Buffalo Bills depth chart as the wide receiver 2 to Khalil Shakir, who's going to be lining up a lot in the slot. But Palmer is now the best route runner in this Buffalo depth chart right now. He ranked 10th out of 160 qualifying receivers in route win rate last year. The next closest Bills receiver was Amari Cooper, ranked 61st. So we have a top 10 route runner in the league per the advanced analytics last season, and he comes to Buffalo now as one of those elite separators. That's what Buffalo needed to fill in their receiving core. Now they have a guy who's young, has untapped potential, and really could be bigger than a lot of people have anticipated in this Buffalo offense production-wise. Josh Allen knows how to get the most out of mediocre receivers. Bills fans everywhere are clamoring for Mac Hollins to be back in the fold for Buffalo this season. Yeah, Josh made him look like a player that you need to bring back in any sort of deal. What is your one-word reaction to the Josh Palmer signing for Buffalo? I'll give you my one word in a second, but this will be the pinned comment on today's show. Give me your one-word reaction to Josh Palmer coming to Buffalo on a 3-year, $36 million deal down in the comment section right now. My one word is solid. Solid because I think a lot of people are going to come out here and say this is wholly overpaid, because that was my initial reaction. Talked to some more people here at Chat Sports, read a little bit more up on Josh Palmer, and you know what? He's somebody that Buffalo doesn't have on their offense right now. An elite separator, an elite route runner, somebody on the boundary who can go for a 45-yard bomb down the field. Josh Allen has been a player who has had a very low average depth of target over the past couple of seasons, and somebody who's keeping the ball closer to the line of scrimmage than he did early on in his career. Now, albeit he's turned the ball over way less, he's taking way better care of the football, but Palmer's one of those guys who can create separation down the field and maybe open up Josh Allen's arm just a little bit more. He had an average depth of target last year of a 15.2 yards. And there were only 2 more receivers in the entire NFL, or with more targets than Josh Palmer, that had a higher depth of target. Alec Pierce of the Colts and Calvin Ridley of the Titans. And you know what? Pierce hasn't been great, but he shows a lot of promise, and I wouldn't be mad at being compared to Calvin Ridley by any means, especially when you're signing at a guy for $12 million a season. He isn't a total burner, but he can use his route running ability to create open opportunities in this Buffalo offense. And they just needed more talent in the receiving core. They haven't, obviously locking up to Khalil Shakir for 4 years. Now you got Josh Palmer here for the next 3. And, they both provide different elements to this Buffalo offense. Josh Palmer going to be on the boundary. Khalil Shakir going to be in the slot. Hopefully Keon Coleman can play on the boundary and take that big second-year leap in year 2. And, the Bills have an average receiving core. Need Dalton Kincaid, obviously, to take a massive leap as well, as he's been fairly underwhelming in Buffalo's offense so far. Grade the signing, though. Grade the signing of Josh Palmer. 3 years, $36 million, A, B, C, D, or F. It's time to get your red pens out right now. Let me know in the comment section your grade A, B, C, D, or F. I'm going to give this a solid B. And it's given with the cap constraints of Buffalo right now. Like, they don't have a ton of room in free agency to go out there and make big-time signings. You re-signed Khalil Shakir. You re-signed Terrell Bernard. You re-signed Greg Rousseau. Gave him big money. And you obviously extended Josh Allen long-term. Now, that created over $10 million in cap space. And obviously, extending these guys helps you out a little bit financially as well. Very low cap hits in year 1, even though none of these guys will be going into their extensions in the 2025 NFL season. Now you add Palmer into the mix, and Buffalo's offense overall looks better, in my opinion, than it did yesterday. He's not the flashiest wide receiver, but Buffalo is never going to have flashy wide receiver money to go out there and spend. Chris Godwin just got over $20 million a year to remain in Tampa Bay. Devontae Adams just got $23 million to go to the Los Angeles Rams after he was just in our free agent targets video yesterday, but so was Josh Palmer on the back end of those targets. But like I said, Buffalo's not going to be adding any $25 million a year players in free agency this year. They just don't have the money to do it, and they still have to go out there and sign their draft class. Now you're bringing a guy in Palmer who's got untapped potential, still only 25 years old, and fills a need in your receiving core that you don't have right now. An elite route runner, an elite separator, and can go out there and just catch the football. That's what Buffalo needs. Guys who can catch the football and make plays, because too many guys fell short in the 2024 postseason, or 2025 postseason, I guess I should say. And that eliminated Buffalo from an opportunity at the postseason. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel, though. Like I said earlier, when the Bills make a move, we make a video right here on the Bills Breakdown. So lock us in as your number 1 spot for Buffalo Bills news and rumors and all the free agent signings that will come this week, because we will be your number 1 source for those free agency signings here on the Bills Breakdown. Lock us in, youtube.com/BillsNews, and we'll see you guys in the next one. And as always, go Bills.